Before you can jump in and start using the Telesales module, you first need to create a call list. In Odyssey CRM, this is called cyclical planning. Cyclical planning can either be regular visits to customers or regular phone call to customers. So let us first create a new cyclical call list. Under the Utilities menu, you will find the Cyclical Planning menu item. When first opening the screen will be blank with no existing telesales or site visit lists. Let us click on the Add New Cyclical List button. We first need to give this new call list a name. We need to specify a few details about this new list we are about to create. You can specify the starting date and time. We can also link it to an existing call script. Then we need to indicate how often this list must repeat. So in the reoccurrence, we need to specify daily, weekly or monthly. You also need to assign the call list to a specific or multiple employees. Once all the information on this form has been done, we can click the Next button. The following screen allows us to create the new list, starting with our existing contacts. A typical example of why we would create a call list from our existing customers would be in a stationery shop. There, our telesales staff would have to call the existing customer base at least once every 2 weeks to ask if they need any stationery. The next button allows us to create a telesales list from our existing leads. If you created new leads or imported lead lists, you can use the telesales module to phone all these new leads. The last option allows you to import telesales lists from Excel spreadsheets. Let us click the Contacts button. Before we continue, we can use the drop-down filters to help us find customers in our contact database. Since we are creating a telesales list for hardware stores, let us choose from our group drop-down. Click Next, and all our linked hardware store clients will be displayed. We can either select all of them or mark by clicking the checkboxes and then click Finish. Our telesales list was now saved. We can find the Telesales module either on the docking menu at the top or under Utilities. The list we created called Hardware will be displayed. You can then see how often you need to phone this list, when it starts and ends, and also the number of clients in that list. In this example, there is only one list, but it could have had multiple call lists, and all of them would then appear in this list, depending on if they were linked to the logged in employee. To open the call list, we need to click on the play icon. All customers in this list will be displayed. We can now start from the top and work our way down. Let's click the first customer on line 1. Our telesales module open with various client details. The first block in our telesales module show when previously this customer was contacted. The block below that indicates the company details and contact information. The next block is our client details with the telephone numbers and email contact details. The most important block in our telesales module is the actions. There we will give feedback or assign the customer to a field salesperson if interest was shown. You can use the action area also to postpone or set reminders if the current call was not successful due to not getting hold of the client or maybe leaving a message with his secretary. Complete all the drop-downs and comment before you save. The additional info box holds extra information that your company might require. This is an open question box and can contain drop-down questions like what other hobbies the client has, what is the client's monthly buying budget, and so on. How many people work from that company, any extra information that your company might require from the client. At the bottom of the telesales module in our navigation buttons, you can move through the telesales list by either clicking on the previous or next buttons. The reference lead button can be very helpful. If you find yourself in a comfortable relationship with this customer, you can ask them for a referral, somebody they know that might also require the service or product. You can then enter their details during the call or later reference. The history buttons hold all previous calls and saved actions. This can help you to see what previous telesales tried to sell the customers or warnings they commented. During the call process, the customer might ask for more information. You can then click the email button and send any brochures or predefined email templates to the client. You could also use the SMS button if the client requires your company contact details, just a short SMS with email addresses and phone numbers without them having to write down any details. Sometimes during the sales process, the client might ask that you send a field salesperson to their offices. The meeting button helps you to set up an instant meeting between your field sales staff and the client. If you require to be reminded of a request the customer had, you could also set a task. This would reflect later so that you can complete this call. Once you are happy with everything, you can click the Save button and move on to the next call.